Good evening. This is Julz and Pico coming to you from Auckland, New Zealand. I am a trusted seller within the TBC community, and I'd like to address the TBC community in what has been a very broadening week this week due to many occasions that have been happening. But first of all, in order to set the record straight, I am a trusted seller. I have the opportunity to help you with anything that you may find is giving you a little bit of trouble. Now, within the TBC community, we are many. 3 million members, over 20,000 send buttons have been turned on, and more to come. And the ability to have trusted sellers that are willing to help you out with anything that you may have problems with. We're all here with the due information that you may need, or that something that you have forgotten. Maybe you were an orphan and you've been brought back into TBC, could be through the broadcaster's leads. Because there's one thing that we need to make sure is that although you were left out in the cold, and now you're being brought back through TBC, sending out a full database of everybody that's on there, not just orphans, but the whole blanketed effect is taking place. So I could end up on your list of potential broadcast leads, or you could end up on mine. But that's what they mean by a blanketed effect, is that it's across the board. Nobody's being left out, just to make sure that everybody has been sent an email to say that you are looking out for their best interests. But first of all, let me say thank you to all those that are here this evening. To Katai Williams, thank you very much for popping into my broadcast. I understand you've got a broadcast shortly, so that's great. You know, when you're ready to go, that's fine. And to all the potential people that will come across my video, I bid you a good evening from here in New Zealand. It's just after 6 p.m. in the evening here. And a little bit nippy, you know, got to put the old hat on. I usually have a scarf on, but I've warmed up my room a little bit because you've got to keep warm. And so I wanted to start off because it was either yesterday or the day before. Now, we came across two very new words. They were new words to me. And I've been going over these words. And so tonight I'm going to pick on one of them, and then I will pick on the other word tomorrow night. Because in order to understand what the word is all about, I spent the day relating to events that line up with this word. Now, just let me take a quick look. Now, the first word I want to take a notice of is reciprocity. Reciprocity. What is reciprocity? Reciprocity is a word that lines you up with being able to help one another. Now, I'm just going to pop. So basically, reciprocity means to help one another. And that's what we do within the TBC community. I'll scratch your back, you scratch my back. Along those terms, because we've got to all look out for one another in the TBC community. One, because there are trolls that want to do nothing but harm and bring TBC into disrepute, because they have got nothing better to do than to try and put down programs, because they've had problems in other programs. And so they don't want to see TBC succeed. But that's too late. I understand that. TBC is way beyond reproach, because we are going to survive within this community because it's already working. But reciprocity can relate to things that are happening in your life. I just didn't know there was a word that went with it. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking a look at my notes, because what reciprocity has done in my life, it's a relation, it's a relationship. It's a relationship where one looks out for the other. You've always got your friend, like you might have a good friend. You've always got her or his back, and he or her would do the same back to you. Now, what I've found within the TBC community, and it's a global community, is that I am in touch with the different ethnic groups around the world, and I have a very global friendship with many people from the other side of the world, where they're one day behind us, and to this side of the world, Australia, Papua New Guinea, Malaysia, Philippines, all those countries. And then you go over the other side of the world to South Africa, to America, the UK, and you have a different, not a different type of world, but because they're a day behind us, it's like catch up. So reciprocity comes into form is that because they're coming in behind us, we can go back a day without leaving our homes and support them in their broadcasts. Now, with the time zone differences, we all try to make one another's broadcast. And sometimes it's a taxing thing on the body and your eyes, of course, because you're trying to be the supporter that you see so many of them doing. Now, I take my hat off to Diana Gordon, who tries her best. And 9 times out of 10, she makes it to as many broadcasts as she possibly can. And when she pops into my broadcast, I'm ever so grateful to her. But we have, it doesn't matter. I always broadcast like I'm broadcasting to the world. It doesn't matter if the world's not here. But just to do my broadcast gives me the satisfaction that for 30 minutes of the day, the world's eyes are on me. And I keep that focus, and it helps me through my broadcast. And talking like this is something that we're trying to share. We're trying to get it out there to the 20,000 people or the 3 million people who have the opportunity to come to our TBC broadcasts to promote yourself literally. So if you're not doing your broadcast, I invite you to come and Zoom with me to get you into that general feeling of being in a room where somebody's watching you. Now, even if it's one person, because it's something that's very tactful and you'll get used to it. And that's how I started off, was to be in a tag team There was about 5 or 6 of us. And after one go in that tag team, I felt confident enough to go off into my own broadcast. But to bring people in also who haven't done a broadcast, who feel that if being on my panel will help you, I'll be more than happy to bring you in. Just let me know and I'll send you my link. Because our broadcasting arena is shrinking. Now, there's a lot of people that have probably found their own way of doing things and promoting themselves, and that's okay. But the broadcasting area gives us who don't know how to post, who don't know how to create a poster to put up on Facebook or in any social media space that we belong to. Now, I belong to several social media platforms that I have paid for and where I can advertise on a daily basis. Now, I bought my spots on those platforms, and one would be least ad space. I get millions of click-through rates, and I use that because I can post a blog there every day. And if you know about blogs are very expensive to run if you do it outside on your own. So I'm a part of least ad space where I paid a fee. It starts off at $7 and you can build a blog once a week. And then it goes up 5 levels until you're able to post every day. Oh, sorry, every second day. But to know how much a blog actually costs can run into many, many hundreds of dollars. So I use my platform where I can post a blog every second day and creating visual images and posting up my videos to advance my post, to advance my blog. I get that. I get to do that. And my blogs go out to the amount of people that are actually on the platform, which runs into the thousands. So we're all advertising our businesses. And I used to have a lot to advertise, but now I'm strictly TBC, the Billion Coin. And I like to stick to that to implant myself on my platform where everybody can see, not just TBC, just like Facebook, you have to advertise yourself. And so this is one form of advertising yourself and promoting yourself, putting yourself out there in the global arena. Yes, you are right, Tilkatai, but one full TBC, you must be a broadcaster. But it seems it's just not happening yet. And yes, I hope that once we all migrate, once we're all on the same platform, then our spots may start to fill up. And so reciprocity falls into this area where we can help up our people. Reciprocity gives you the opportunity to help another. Reciprocity has certainly affected me in a way that good evening, Bitcoin Scott. Thank you for coming along. Kia ora koe, kare. You're welcome to come here. And reciprocity, like Bitcoin Scott, comes to help. And so I do my best to try to get to his broadcast, as I do to Teal Kotai Williams's broadcasts. And that's what reciprocity does for us. It helps us to help one another. Now, I want to play this short video because I think it's indicative of what TBC has to offer us. So I'm going to share my screen at the moment. It's just a short video. So I want to go over and share this video with you, because it makes great sense. So please bear with me and just take your time. This is 8 minutes, 9 minutes. So I've heard it a few times. So where's my, oh, sorry, give me a minute. My cords will come out. I'm just trying to put the cord back in. Won't be a second. You see, I had my speakers blown out on my laptop.
Including
okay, here we go.
The stock market. As a part of that, and
I'll just start that again.
Some critical information to share with you. I have now been shared with and personally experienced several points of information that would indicate to me that we are on the doorstep of the global currency reset. And what is that? Many of you may not know. Go do the research on it. But basically, there is the premise that the powers that be, the major governments and the banks of the world, are about to reset the valuations of all the currencies and assets.
Can you hear me?
And so on and so forth, including bringing down the stock market.
Can you say yes if you can hear me?
And
hear the video?
The prices of real assets, specifically silver and gold. Now, why do I understand this? I was sent to several people. I was sent a video that I'm going to share with you.
Thank you, Bitcoin Scott.
Not mine.
My cord had come out.
First piece of data that I want you to see is this video, and you listen to it and you make your own decision as to whether
you may have watched this video already. But I think it's a very vital video.
With them resetting some systems. So I'm going to play the first part of it. It is from the Prophecy Club. And yeah, I may not agree with all their religion.
And what I will make sure is that
these are good people, and I am going
I will
to
watch some of the other videos.
Information, because whether they know it or not, they're on my team, because I'm going to follow and listen to them. So let's listen to this for the first part, so that you can hear this piece of information.
And I tell you what, it's a very good piece of information. There's some pretty scary stuff going on in the world today.
Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Today we're going to talk about bank closing. Now I'm going to start with a disclaimer. If you know
the banks closing, that's the last thing we need.
So the disclaimer is,
but
do not make financial decisions based upon this broadcast. Here, this is a program of Bible prophecy. We do not give financial advice. Information given here is for entertainment purposes only. I'm going to ask you.
And I'm very interested.
Call a number 877-472-2249.
I wonder if I should write that number down.
Or something. You're going to want to write this number down. I'll tell you why. You're going to be calling HSBC, which is the Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation. This is their phone number, and they have put out a message that maybe on the outside, maybe it's just a benign message.
Shanghai.
No more than what HSBC is saying. But
Corporation.
in light of a Bible prophecy and the other prophecies, we think it might be saying more.
I'm going to try and capture that phone number. 877-472.
I recommend you call and you listen to the message. I'm about to play it. I recorded it. But I recommend you need to call. You need to verify that what I'm telling you is, in fact, the truth.
Very good.
I don't want to be one who yells wolf.
Just in case you might want to ring that
On the other
number.
hand, I'm a watchman, and those people listening, you're probably a watchman also, and you know that if we can blow a trumpet and warn someone, we will. So let me first of all start with report.
We should be grateful that there's somebody willing to tell on the big banks, on the bank corporations, don't you think?
So you know for certain that this is the message and that it is coming from HSBC.
Please note, HSBC will be upgrading our system during the weekend of June 8th, which will result in service interruptions. Checking and savings balances may not be accurate, and debit card transactions may not post for up to 5 business days after the upgrade is completed on Monday, June 11th. To avoid overdrawing your account, it's important to track your balances before, during, and up to 5 business days after the outage.
Here it is again.
Pretty scary stuff, eh, guys?
Business banking. Please note, HSBC will be upgrading our system during the weekend of June 8th, which will result in service interruptions. Checking and savings balances may not be accurate, and debit card transactions may not post for up to 5 business days after the upgrade is completed on Monday, June 11th. To avoid overdrawing your account, it's important to track your balances before, during, and up to 5 business days after the outage.
My gosh,
Okay,
I'd hate to think what would happen if
And
that
the rest
happened
I'm
here
just
in
gonna
New
verbally tell
Zealand.
you about. As some of you may know, I am now helping somebody with a solar project, which means I had to have some somewhat large funds transferred into my account. We did this through PayPal.
PayPal sucks.
I experienced 2 different warnings. One through PayPal about changes.
Have you ever had problems with PayPal, Bitcoin Scott?
You may not experience these until you actually try and move large sums of
They are
money.
starting the crashing
I
of
have
fiat
experienced
currencies.
the warnings I
Yes,
got.
they
I did
are.
not think, because I was focused on getting the equipment and getting the money moved. I had to do my job. Okay, but I took note.
PayPal has
Big warning
frozen my
flag
son's account.
in PayPal
And he's
that
only
they
got
have got some
200 in
changes
there.
that are coming this month. They're updating their systems too. Then because I was doing some transactions through my bank, I had to have both my supplier and my bank on the phone at the same time because they would not let my funds move into making the purchases.
That's what PayPal do.
In that experience,
when it suits them.
I also talked to the lady who works at my bank and was telling me about that they are experiencing some system changes and that they will be down and things are not going to be working properly or as normal, I think she said, for the next 30 days. We know things are about ready to occur with the QAnon stuff supposedly beginning on 11th, which will be Monday. Monday is the 11th.
So
this weekend
already
interesting. What funds I did have.
Oh no, that's PayPal.
I didn't want to deal with any possible declines in my account, and for the most part, for most of the last 6 years since I got Cyprus, and we won't get into that story here, but since I got Cyprus and had a government agency just take money out of my account.
Yes, that's absolutely right, Bitcoin Scott.
I basically have
I've been through that blog to buy supplies like there's no tomorrows.
I do have completely. I've made sure that all transactions are out and that I am financially sitting in a place where I need to be. You make your decisions. This is not like the other gentleman said, this is not crying wolf, but this is clues to the timing of the global currency reset and the revaluations of currencies, dollars, assets that is coming during this financial catastrophe, as it will be called. I'm just going to say it's going to be reset to what real values are. Real values.
Yes, PayPal can.
What actually has values. I think that's where we're
they
going.
They can turn your
anyway,
account on and off as they wish.
This is an indicator. I think it ties into the timing of my my charting that I've been doing with you. So I think we're there, folks. Things are going to get really interesting this weekend. We may not even hear anything about it, but watch Monday. If we don't see anything tomorrow, watch Monday and Tuesday next week. I think we could see some serious fireworks going off. And then again, I could be totally full of poop. Before we go, yes, she is all frustrated because she can't go out. Say hi to Shadow. Okay,
hi, Shadow.
All right.
So I'll stop it there. Now, I've watched this, as you can see. I won't play it all. I just wanted a general.
Has been hours.
This is as
nice
much
Japanese
scary
as
nice watching this one.
And
so TBC admin
that's how $10 trillion
hit on videos. I'll just stop sharing now.
Just after World War II, all of the skyscrapers in the world.
TBC admin have given us some awesome insight as to what the powers that be are up to. Now, regardless of the fact that Donald Trump is over there with Kim Jong-un, things are happening back in Washington that he probably knows about anyway. And I can't wait to see what happens, if anything at all. But will it have a ripple effect throughout the world or just in the USA state? Oh, kia ora, Larry. Nice to see you here. Thank you for coming along. The effect that some of the currencies around the globe are having, which all pretty much are centered around the US dollar, will eventually have an effect on those countries around the world. I can see that ripple effect happening. But, like, I'm no professor on these matters, but I keep an eye. I think like everybody else does. Everything that TBC admin put out, I keep an eye on. So, Bitcoin Scott, I just want to ask, I want to ask you on my panel, what is your take on the word, now I have to always bring it up because I can't get my mouth around, reciprocity, 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 reciprocity. Now, the best I come up with, for me, reciprocity has always been to me, I scratch your back, you scratch my back. And so reciprocity brings us back to the TBC community. We help one another. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. I'll help in as many ways as possible. I think it was one of the most magical words I'd heard this week, reciprocity. I'll just type it in the chat room. Reciprocity. Because I didn't know that a meaning like I scratch your back, you scratch my back, had any other meaning to it than that. And to find out that reciprocity means that relates to many things that has happened in my lifetime, where I've been at a job and helped a new person that's just starting in the business to maybe run a machine, how to drive a forklift, all the things that I used to do, drive a truck. But one thing that always happened to me in my lifetime, during my adult working years until I got the big C, was that in our day we could bounce from job to job. You can't do that anymore. And so I'd go to a job and I'd learn it. Right down to the point that, oh, hello, Kenville Moody. Thank you for coming to my live broadcast. Right down to the point that within months, I'd become a team leader. Now, in saying that, there were people at many jobs that I worked at, and my last job was in Perth, Australia, and I went to a job, and I was there for about 8 months, and a position came available. And the position was, yes, a team leader's position, but I had no interest in it because I wasn't sure how long I was going to stay there. You know, once you reach Australia, it's like time to look around. So I got a job, and after 8 months, I was working the night shift, and the team leader gave her notice in. She was going to work in the mines in Perth. And I had no interest in the job. But on the day that she made the announcement, after that, I was called to the manager's office. Now, I walked up there to the manager's office, and there was the director and the manager's CEO and the all the daytime and night shift, the daytime team leaders were in the office. So on seeing that, before even thinking, I headed straight to the door because I thought, oh, they're going to give me the boot. And so while I was doing that, and they yelled out to me, they said, come back here. And I said to him, and I turned around, I had a look, you know, we've got all these bosses staring back at me. Only to get back in the room, and this job was offered to me. Now, when I start a job, I put my head down and I dig in there, and I make sure I learn that job to the best of my ability. So you don't get the old hands picking on you. I think that's mainly why I did it. And was I surprised? I was absolutely surprised that this job was offered to me after only 8 months. Now, there were people there that had been there 15 years plus who had put their hand up for the job. So in saying that, I said to the main boss, can you please give me 2 weeks? Because the person leaving had her 2 weeks notice in. So I wanted to get to know the old hands. So after 2 weeks, after getting to know all the ones that were trying to get the job, I said to the boss, you can now announce it. Because I had made friends, and they were from Serbia and Croatia, and they're real hard nuts, you know, they're real hard women, and we were working in a pill factory. So it was announced that I was going to be the team leader for the night shift. But by that time, I had gotten to know all those ladies that had been there for years, and they became my best buddies before the announcement. So when it was announced, they didn't mind, because they were saying, oh, that's great, you got the job. But in saying that, they didn't want to come to night shift anyway. So all the fuss was for nothing. And so, yes, that's right. It means that if you believe that you got value out of service that you receive, then you should support my services by purchase from me. And so what I mean by what's happened to me, they supported me in every way they could, and they bought me flowers, and, you know, but I would be on the floor and I would help as much as I could because I knew I was the new kid on the block. So to give back to those that supported me through that time, who really didn't like me, but grew to like me. So this word, reciprocity, can be measured in many ways and can relate to everybody's life, I'm sure. In one shape or form, reciprocity has been a part of your life, but the actual word reciprocity I had never heard of before until it came up in Randy's broadcast. And I love that word. Reciprocity, meritocracy. Meritocracy. But I'll talk about that tomorrow. But one thing for sure is broadcasting, becoming a broadcaster is going to be so beneficial to you. Now, I don't know if you know yet, Larry, Kiermaier Brown, but we are now getting warm leads that will help you in your endeavour to get prospects into your downline. Now, I'm very grateful to Darren Haywood, who has put out a video as to how to get in touch with those people all at once instead of emailing one person at a time. So if you don't know yet, there is a program available in Gmail called GMAS that you download, and it helps you to send emails to 50 plus people a day, because Gmail does not allow you to email more than 50 people all at one go, that's for sure. So thank goodness that TBC admin give us 50 warm leads to send an email to. So you can get those done all at once. And once you fill in the note area, then you're able to get a new list. And you submit the first lot of 50, then you will get a new lot of 50. Now, it doesn't matter who the names on the list are. Just get in contact with them. I've already received the email because my name is on somebody's list. So the whole 3 million people, I guess, 3.2 million people's names will be sent out. And I think that's a fine way of doing that, because that gives everybody the opportunities to know who's who, and nobody misses out, so nobody will fall through the cracks, because it's a blanketed, like TBC admin has said, it's throughout. Everybody will be sent to somebody. So do not be surprised if you get an email welcoming you to TBC or welcoming you back. We will all get an email of that nature. So, oh, that's awesome, Larry. That's awesome. So, doing your broadcasts, now, the differences between the two, the basic broadcasters and the daily broadcasters, is 1,000 cookies difference. 100 million to those that broadcast, as to 100,000 to those that don't broadcast. So if you're not broadcasting at the moment, feel free to get in touch with me. But there is an awesome video out there that Randy put out in his broadcast this morning, this day. This the 12th, was the 12th of June for Randy. And he put out an awesome video on how to use your phone, how to do your broadcast on the phone, on your mobile, if that's all you have. And it's quite in depth. But he will also teach you how to be a winning broadcaster. I suppose I need to go and learn some lessons as well, but I'll stick to what I'm doing. This is my broadcast number 63, so am I doing something right? Well, I hate to think I am. But thank you, Larry. I appreciate your sentiments, I absolutely do. And I hope that your girls are doing really well, Larry. I know they've been a bit maui. So, being a broadcaster, please, if you think you would like a little bit of help in that area, I'm more than happy to help you out. But if you're orphan and you can't wait for anybody to pick you up, don't hesitate, reach out. My details are below this video, but you come to the broadcasting area and you might find somebody that you really do connect with. But I'd like to stress what GW has put out. Now, he has put out a post stressing that if you require a one-on-one, then us as broadcasters are happy to give you 5 minutes of our time, and I am happy to do that. But if you feel you need a one-on-one, don't come to the table empty-handed. All our times are precious, as is mine. And I'm happy to offer you a one-on-one if you made a TBC purchase with me, which I feel is fair, and many of the broadcasters are doing things in that manner because, reciprocity. If you think you get value off me, well then, your appreciation of that will be much heeded. So the time to get updated is now, because once we've all migrated, and we're all on the same page. I give it that you don't have to do that until the 31st of July. But once the redemption is closed, and now we're on the 13th here in New Zealand, so we've got 2 days left should anybody want to buy any TBC, any cookies to redeem before the shut-off day. Please, I'll be happy to do that transaction with you. But you must, now that I'm on the new wallet, you also must be on the new wallet. If you're not on the new wallet as yet, well then reach out. There's many that haven't migrated to the new wallet yet. They'll be more than happy to help you out. Kenville Moody. I was setting up a tutorial on how to do a live broadcast yesterday, but I cannot get into the tomorrow live broadcast area. Even up to now, I cannot get access there. And this morning, I believe you were there this morning, Kenville Moody, at Randy's broadcast. He actually went through that in depth as to how to do your broadcast from start to finish, as well as doing it from your mobile phone. So if you go back to that, his broadcast 64, I believe you'll find all the information you'll need, because he spent a good hour talking about the setting up of your broadcast in the Kringle's cashback office, as well as on the mobile phone. So I hope you can go back to the Voice of TBC's broadcast number 64, and you will find his in-depth tutorial that he did on that. So thank you. I've gone up way over my time. I'm so sorry, guys. To me, now this is just purely my own thoughts, of course. I used to watch the timer because I couldn't wait to stop talking. And I'd look at the timer, and the more I looked at it, the slower it went. Now I don't take any notice of it. Next minute, nearly done an hour. Oh, bye. So my kōrero is getting longer and longer. But You know, I must stop doing that because you never know. I forget to look if there's anyone booked in after me. In the evenings, 9 times out of 10, there's nobody booked after me. But in saying that, I'll have to change my spot because I need to be at Teokatai's broadcast, which she's on right now. So, guys, thank you so much for coming to my broadcast. I know Teokatai had to take off and do her broadcast. Bitcoin Scott, kia ora. Always a pleasure to have you in my room. And sorry, I don't always get to your room, Bitcoin Scott. Larry, I hope we get to see you a bit more often. It's wonderful to have you in my room this evening. And Kenville Moody, thank you for coming along. I totally appreciate you guys coming into my broadcast this evening. And where you are around the world, good evening, good day, good afternoon, good morning. This is Julz Poiko, trusted seller within the TBC community, signing off for this evening. And I think I've got a broadcast at 9:30 in the morning because I'm not sure if I'm going to be home tomorrow. So I hope you got your bell on. I hope you've subscribed to my new channel. As you may or may not know, I got my old channel got terminated due to copyrights of Michael Jackson's "Heal the World," and Paul Joe Stevens has had his copyrights for having music in the background going, and it just happened to be one of our Māori songs, and his account got terminated. So there's probably another thing you have to be very careful of is copyright situations, because they'll terminate your channel just like that. So with that, take care. God bless you all. This is Julz Poiko signing off for this evening, and hope to see you back here again. Bye for now.